Hey y'all, Dawn with 7 Acres Homestead here. Today I'm going to be trying to answer the question of can you make a living off of your homestead? And we're going to jump into that right now. So, with 2024 getting underway, there are thousands of people right now that are wanting to become homesteaders. Or if they're already homesteaders, they're wanting to amp up what they're doing with their homesteading. And the way things are going in the world right now, don't blame them one bit. It's one reason we started homesteading on our land. We started homesteading around 2019, right before the pandemic hit. We just woke up one morning and both my husband and I just had this really strong feeling that now is the time to do this. And we got started, and lo and behold, a few months later, we had the pandemic going in full swing. And we thought, you know, God was trying to tell us that this is what we needed to do for a reason. So, many of you have the question, can I start a homestead? Can we quit our jobs? Can we just live off the homestead? Is that going to work in this day and age? I hope so. I would like to think that that is the case. Tim and I have been doing this homestead, like I said, for about a little over 4 years now, and we're not quite there yet. Tim still works a full-time job. He is a salesman for a lumber company that is all throughout the Southwest, Southeast, just in the South, period. He's been with this company for, worked there a couple of different times. He's been with this company a total of about 11 years now. So he has a very steady job. He's got a job that brings in a regular paycheck. We have life insurance, health insurance, 401k. You know, we have all of that stuff right now. He will be 62 in about 2.5 years. And what I would love to happen at that point is for him to take early Social Security and go ahead and retire. And so right now we are trying to set ourselves up in order to make that happen. We would have his Social Security coming in. It would be at the reduced amount because he'd be taking it early. But we would still have other expenses that Social Security is not going to cover. Right now, his Social Security would cover probably our basic bills because we have paid off our property. We don't have a house payment. We don't have a car payment. We don't do credit cards, so we don't have credit card payments. We don't do finance accounts, so we don't have a bunch of finance payments. We just have basic utilities and insurance and all of that good stuff. So his early Social Security should be enough to pay those basic bills. However, it is not going to cover groceries and going to the doctor and having health insurance and all of that good stuff. So those are the kind of things that we're sitting down and looking at. How much money do we need to bring in to really make this work? So that is your first step. You need to see, where can you cut back? Where can you pare it down? How much money do you actually need coming in every single month in order to live without that additional paycheck coming in? So that's going to be your first step. How much do you actually need? Then the big question is going to be, how do you bring that money in? Now, we've done a lot of research. We watch multiple other YouTube channels that are people that either have or are in the process of being able to quit their full-time jobs and do nothing but work their homestead. And that is our goal as well. So, I'm going to give you the items today that I have seen in my research and what we know we have to have, and then I'm going to tell you what our plan is in order to make that work. And as we go along with this whole process, we will keep you guys updated as to how it's going. So one of the things that I have noticed that all of these people that are making a living off of their homesteads are doing is having multiple streams of income coming in. They're not relying on one particular thing to support them, which I think is very, very smart in any business. I used to own a bakery. We were a gourmet cupcake shop. However, we did flavored breads, we did cookies, we did decorated cakes, we did all kinds of things. Because you can't always rely on cupcakes. And that was a good thing because we got in it in the middle of the big frou-frou cupcake shop craze. We were on Cupcake Wars on the Food Network. That kind of blasted us out there. But eventually that whole cupcake craze kind of calmed down. But luckily for us, we had established ourselves as serious cake decorators and doing weddings and doing decorated cookies and all of these things, so that when that cupcake craze kind of calmed down a little bit, we still had all those other streams of income coming in. So your homestead is going to be exactly the same way. You are going to need multiple streams of income coming in. That way, if something drops or falls off completely, then you know you have these other streams of income coming in. So the next thing you need to do is figure out what streams of income do I need to have on my homestead. Again, that answer is going to be different for everybody. Now, a couple of things that I would look at, first of all, is what products do you have on your homestead, or can you do on your homestead, that you can sell to other people? There's many things that you can produce an item that you'll be able to sell. You can sell plant starts. You can sell saved seeds. You can sell animals in many different ways and parts of the process with the animal. For example, with a chicken, you can sell eggs. You can sell fertilized eggs. You can sell baby chicks. You can sell pullets for people who want a laying flock. You can sell processed chickens for people who just want to put the, clean farm-grown chicken in their freezer. So there are multiple levels of different things that you can do with the animals. Another thing to look at is gardening. You could sell seeds that you save. You could sell plant starts. You could sell bigger plants. You could sell the produce off of those plants, such as vegetables and fruits and things like that. Or you can sell a product that you produce from those plants. Let's say you have apple trees and you make just the most fantastic apple butter anybody's ever tried. Can that apple butter? Sell it. Now, when it comes to all of these things that you can sell, the first thing you're going to want to do is look at the laws in your state and in your region and make sure that you are following those guidelines. Because the last thing you want to do is go in, make a plan, buy livestock, buy vegetable plants, start producing things, and then find out after all of that money and all that hard work has gone into that you're not allowed to sell it. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're going to be raising, producing, selling, that you are within the laws in your area before you do that. Another thing that you can look at as far as income streams coming in are skills. What skills do you have that you could market? If you're a great gardener, if you're a master gardener, put yourself out there as a consultant. Hey, you need somebody to come in and help you set up your garden and tell you what will grow in this area and what won't grow in this area and how to get it to grow and what fertilizers to use and all of that good stuff. Market that as a skill. Let's say you have a tractor and you are using that tractor on your property, and maybe you're baling hay for your animals or whatever. Market yourself as someone who can come to someone else's property and bale that hay for them. Rent you and your tractor out. And there's multiple ways you can do this. You can charge them so much an hour. You can charge them so much for a certain size field. Or if it's something where you don't have your own hay but you have the tractor, go out there and bale somebody's field and in exchange for some of the hay. Split the hay with them, whatever. That is one of the things that you also have to look at, is money you do not have to spend on your homestead is the exact same as money you have in your pocket to spend on something for the homestead. Okay? Can you exchange that work for $300 worth of hay? rather than having to go out and earn that $300 and buy that hay. Okay, I'm going to talk about that a lot in this video today. So that is the next thing that we're going to talk about, is how to look at money in a different way. Years ago, when I was a working woman, I would go to work, and then I would get paid, and then I had all the expenses involved with going to work. I had to pay daycare for my kids. I had to buy clothes that I could wear in an office. I had to keep up with my hair and my nails and my makeup so that I could be presentable in that office. I had gas money and wear and tear on my vehicle going back and forth. I had money involved for eating lunches out when I couldn't take my lunch or whatever. There's all kinds of expenses involved in that. So if you think, okay, I've got to make $50,000 a year, stop and think about that. Really, stop and think about it. How much of that can you take off that 50 grand if you don't have the gas money going back and forth to work every day? You don't have wear and tear on your car. You don't have to buy those nice clothes to wear in the office and nice shoes and all of that. You don't have to pay daycare for your kids. You stop and think about that, and you're going to start whittling that number that you think you need down quite a bit. So that's when you start looking at money in a whole different way. If I can take a pig and have her have piglets and sell 2 of those piglets off, that pays for my pigs and for me to have pork for my family for the entire year. And that is another way you have to look at it. So that is another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at how much money do I really need. Also, when you're looking at that dollar amount, stop and think about ways that you can save money and shave stuff off of your budget. For example, I make my own condiments now. I make ketchup, I make mustard, I make mayonnaise, and it does not cost me as much to make it myself as it does to go buy it in the store. For one thing, when you buy stuff like that in the store, a whole lot of what you're paying for is packaging. So typically I use mason jars for that kind of stuff, and I use them over and over and over again. Therefore, the only cost to me is what ingredients I put in it. Many of those ingredients I can grow right here on my farm or produce right here on my farm, and therefore it even costs me even less. So that is another way that you need to look at this as far as the money goes. What can I get rid of? What can I do cheaper here that I do not have to go pay someone in the store? 2-3 years ago, Tim and I would go to the grocery store about once a week, and we would bring back this huge cart full of groceries. We have pared it down and pared it down and pared it down to where we produce so much of that on our own now that now we go maybe once a month and get a half a cart of stuff. Maybe once during the week we'll run to the store and grab a couple things that we need to get us through the week, but that's about it. And so now of course, the dollar amount because of inflation this last year or two hasn't really changed all that much. But imagine if we were having to go to the store and buy those carts full of groceries that we were having to buy every single week. It would be crazy. So that is your next step, looking at money and what is valuable in an entirely different way than normal. Okay, so I promised to tell you guys about our plans and what it is that we're working on. Our business plan entails several different streams of income coming in. We have this YouTube channel. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to get monetized. We're not there yet, but I'm working towards that. So that would be a small stream of income coming in, is anything we can bring in through the YouTube channel. Along with that is affiliate marketing. That is another part of our strategy. If I have things that I absolutely love, like for example my All-American canner, if you guys watch me do my canning videos, my All-American canner is my BFF. I absolutely love that thing. And I will put an affiliate link in the description box of my video or my blog post or whatever it is that you're seeing me on. And if you guys go in there and you click on that and you say, yeah, Dawn's right, I want this All-American canner, and you purchase that through that link, I get a few pennies. It's not anything crazy. If you don't buy it on my link, I'm not going to cry over it. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting the best canner you possibly can. But if I can make a few pennies off of it, then that also is another small income stream that I have coming in. Another way that you can make an income stream using the internet as well is to have a blog with recipes and or cooking tips or home setting tips, and there's many different ways that you can make money off of those blogs. So that is another income stream that I have not gone down that road yet, but I'm hoping one day to add that to my list of things. So the other ways that Tim and I are making money on our homestead, or that we're gearing up to make money on our homestead, is chickens. I, a couple of years ago, had an incubator, and I used to sell chicks, and I sold more chicks than I could possibly incubate, and still had people wanting more chicks. So we have just bought a new egg incubator that holds 240 eggs. And if you haven't seen my last video with the chick shack, which was us setting up the building that we're going to be using to incubate and hatch and raise chicks in, go back and look at that video. I will put a link in the description box so that you guys can go back and look at that. Now, if I have 240 eggs incubating and I get a 70% hatch rate, that's about 160 to 170 chicks that I can sell at about $5 a piece. Had I sold those eggs just as eggs, I can get about $4 a dozen right now, which is not that much. But you hatch that egg out and get a chick, you can sell them for about $5 a piece. Now, let's say I don't sell all those chicks. Well, I can invest some feed and some time into those chicks, raise them up to where they're about 14 to 18 weeks old, sell them as pullets. Now, all of a sudden, they're egg layers. They are producers of food. So someone that does not want to raise up their chicks, but they want to get hens that are about ready to lay or are already laying, that $5 chick becomes a $25 chicken that you can sell. See where I'm going with this? The next thing is, let's say I don't sell them and they get to that age that I want to do something different with them because I don't want to add them to my flock. I have enough chickens laying eggs. The next thing that's going to happen is they're going to go to the processor. And then we're going to sell that chicken as a processed chicken that someone can just put in their freezer. Somebody that wants clean, wholesome chicken, doesn't want to get the crud at the grocery store with all the chemicals and stuff in it, and eat a chicken that's been sitting in its own poop and all that good stuff. They want a nice, clean chicken. So there are multiple ways that I'm going to be using these chickens in order to make an income. So the next big income stream that we're working on is our Cooney Cooney pigs. And this is going to be a lesson learned kind of thing, and this is one of the reasons why you do multiple income streams, because you put all your, pardon the pun, eggs in one basket, and you drop that basket and then you're in trouble. So let me tell you about our Cooney Cooney business. We started out with wanting to sell registered Cooney Cooney pigs. They're a fairly rare breed and a fairly new breed to the United States. They have been brought in from New Zealand originally in the 1970s, and they are a specialty pig. They are smaller pigs. They're very docile. They're very friendly. They're very easy to handle. Me being a small person, that was an amazing selling point to me. They have a Cooney Cooney pig registry here in the United States. So if your pigs are full-blood Cooney Cooney pigs, then you can have them registered. So we went and bought a bunch of registered Cooney Cooney pigs. The thought process was, we're going to breed these pigs and we're going to sell these registered pigs to people who want full-blood pigs. And we are still doing that. That is still part of our plan. However, we've had a small glitch in that plan. A lot of people started hearing about these Cooney Cooney pigs, and they were like, oh, wow, these pigs are awesome. So everybody started wanting Cooney Cooney pigs, which you would think that would be great for our business. However, a lot of people that don't really care about the quality of what they're doing started taking these unregistered Cooney Cooney pigs, and they're breeding them with other breeds such as Julianas and Potbellies, and that has made the market completely washed out. Now the problem is that these mixed breeds are not the quality of pig that everybody's been raving about. I could go on and do a whole video just about that, but I won't. So it has diluted the strength of that business a little bit. So we have picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off, and we are moving on to plan B, which is we will still sell high quality registered Cooney Cooney pigs to people that want them. However, any pigs that we cannot sell there will go to the processor and be sold as meat. Now I'm going to tell you why this is going to really work, because Cooney Cooney pig meat is very sought after by chefs, by people who want a high quality pork. The meat is marbled. It's not a big hard thick chunk of meat with a big blob of fat all the way around it, which they do have lard fat, but they have marbled, and their meat is very red. It's more tender. It's more like what you would get with a steak. And so any pigs that we are not able to sell, they will be going to the processor, and we will be selling that meat as a final product. Now, another thing that we do sometimes, and this is not going to bring in as much money as some of this other stuff will, and not as much on a regular basis. But there are things that I do tend to sell at the farmer's market, and some of them are jellies and jams and pickles and things that I can produce. That is something that is in our plan to sell. I am doing starter plants for my spring garden. I will have extras. Anything that I don't use myself or give to family members or whatever, I will be selling at the market. And so there's all kinds of little things like that that we have done to sell at the market. If we have extra vegetables that I don't have time to can or whatever, take those to the market and sell them. So that is another small stream of income that we do have here on the homestead. So this is our plan. We have put all of our infrastructure, or most of our infrastructure, in place. Our coops are ready, our chick shack is ready, our incubator is ready, our brooder is ready. With the pigs, we have some of the pens built. We do have more pens we want to build. We have enough to get started, and so we're good there. We've started buying our feed in bulk, which has helped cut down on feed costs for chickens and pigs. And so we're ready to hit the ground running, and we're hoping within a year we will be selling processed pork and processed chicken and live chickens and live pigs. So that is our plan as far as getting the business to where it needs to be in the next 2.5 years in order for Tim to go ahead and retire early. So hopefully some of this was helpful to you guys. I have some other YouTube channels that I would recommend watching. I'm going to do a whole nother video on that that's just talking about these other YouTube channels that have been a big inspiration to me and to Tim. That will be the very next video that I put out for you guys. So the couple of videos that I did talk about in here, I will put the descriptions in the description box, so you can go back and watch those if you'd like to. And thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have any suggestions for us, or things that have or have not worked for you on your homestead, please be sure and put that in the comment section, because we love to hear from other people, because we're constantly trying to learn this too. So I'll keep you guys updated, and thanks for watching.